day today. I want to talk with you guys about a video that I did a while back, and I'm going to talk about it again. It's called I Almost Got Married. If you look at the thumbnail, you'll see a ring. You're going to see a ring in this video, actually. And this was actually my engagement ring. As I was going through my phone, I was discovering a lot of things that were still in it. And I'm glad that I kept this photo, actually, because it's a testimonial. There are other things that I did discover that I won't share here. For example, me trying on my wedding dress and all of that. I won't share that because even when I look at my picture, I just wasn't glowing. I wasn't looking like a bright, beautiful bride. Okay. And I'm glad that I have it because now I can use it as a testimonial, not as, to look back and be sad, but to just be like, man, thank God. I mean, I was on the path to probably utter unhappiness had I gone through with it. So the first thing I always say when I make these videos is I take responsibility for my action and my choices. My action and my choices is what caused me to experience the things that I did, because there were more than enough signs and symptoms and warnings and red flags at the beginning, or I can't really say, but just enough for me to see like, this is not it. What kept me, I will get into that. So I think the message that I really want to share with you guys is not to be afraid to let go, not to be afraid to lose people. I mean, you don't want to be negligent, but at the same time, when you can identify individuals who are hurting you, who are repeating actions, who are saying something today, doing something else tomorrow, and then promising you something else, you can easily recognize when you're in a cycle of toxicity, when a person, for whatever reason, whatever they are going through, they are unable to really keep up with the things that they're saying. They are unable to remain stable for whatever reason. And sometimes their heart is simply not with you. And that was something that I had to come to realize, that I was just not a person that he was actually in love with. I was not. There may be elements of me that he liked, but I was not the complete person for him. And so, therefore, it may have been one of the many reasons why certain things happen. I would tell you guys that you cannot invest in anybody, and you cannot bring into anybody things that they don't have or may not be willing to give to you. You know, sometimes they may have great qualities, but maybe that is reserved for something else, for someone else, and not you. And I think oftentimes what we do is we try to be the one, right? We want to be picked. We want to be chosen. We want to win. And that's not what love is. Love is something that comes and it is developed over time. It is something that goes beyond looks. It goes beyond circumstances. But one thing love is not. It's not there to give into a vacuous hole or an individual who is just don't love you back. And you know, the Bible says, Jesus said in Matthew chapter 7, you will know a person by their fruit, by what they do. It's not what they say. There's so many scriptures in the Bible that tells you what someone says and what they do. You pay attention to what they do and not what they say. And oftentimes people will go to the altar and they're going to marry somebody regardless. They're going to marry the person to prove a point. They're going to marry the person because they don't want anyone else to have them. They're going to marry the person because they feel like, well, they can work out whatever kinks there is to work out later on in the marriage. But that often comes at a high price. And the reason why I say this is you consider if you're just dating them and they're not afraid to lose you. And if you're just engaged to them and not married to them and they're not afraid to lose you and they're not afraid to take chances with you, when you get married and the deal is sealed, they're going to do worse. Not only that, you're showing them no matter what I do to you, you're willing to put up with me. So the person is not going to change. Oftentimes we have the wrong idea that love and being in love and being in a relationship means I stay and stay and stay and stay with you no matter what you do. And while nobody is perfect, no one is perfect. You don't want to be with a person who is just willfully imperfect, okay? They enjoy being crooked. They enjoy eating melons, bread eaten in secret. They enjoy mischief. Your love cannot create character in a person. Your love cannot create integrity in a person. Your love cannot instill morals in a person. There's some things that they need to have already within them, have worked out those things. And then, yes, you can build. You can talk about, you can build together and work through ups and downs, highs and lows, but there must be a foundation of honesty, integrity, respect, loyalty, faithfulness. That needs to be there. That needs to be there. You cannot bring a roach in your house and say, hey, you're going to be a puppy. And you're taking it to get cleaned up like a puppy and trying to put a dog collar and trying to walk that roach. It's not going to happen. It is a roach. You cannot, no matter what you desire to be, it's never going to be that. Now, that may be somewhat of a not so nice or not so great comparison, but that is definitely the truth of the matter. You cannot love, no amount of love is going to create loyalty, honesty, faithfulness, respect in a person. So you can't work through that with somebody. You can't do that. You understand what I'm saying? So that was my mistake. My mistake was thinking that, oh, I'll just stay on and work through it. And I will be honest, one of the other things with me I will say is because I know that I could just leave. I know I can just leave because I don't like nonsense. I don't like foolishness. I don't like to feel aggravated. I don't like arguing. If I start arguing and I'm just harping and repeating myself, I get annoyed with myself. Okay, I always say it may be because I'm the only girl. I grew up in a house full of boys. All that I hate that. If I'm talking and I get so annoyed because I hate doing it. But I also knew I had it within me to just end it. I'm done. And I'm not just talking about, not even just in that relationship. In an intimate relationship, but I'm not quick to do it, but when I do it, I'm done with it. I don't take long because I don't like a lot of foolishness. I don't think I should spend that much time with an adult trying to get an adult to do what they know they're supposed to do. And so because I had that within me, I always remember when a friend told me, man, you like cold, you don't tolerate much. And I decided, it really hit a nerve in me. And I was like, well, I don't want to be a person that's hard and bitter or come off as unforgiving. That was my big thing. I don't want to come off as unforgiving, but I also need to realize there's a difference between just having sound judgment. It's not unforgiveness. This person is creating nonsense. There is no reason to continue in any sort of a friendship or anything with someone who is just constantly just cannot behave themselves. I just know. So what I did, I will stay on, and I stayed in this relationship because I was like, well, maybe I do need to be more understanding and all of that. But as I said before, the person has to have character. There's some basic foundations that they need to have in them, because when a person has that, your challenges are not going to be things in areas of dishonesty or hurting you over and over, or you know what I mean? And you guys are going back and forth. That's not going to happen. And also because now I was saved and he was a Christian, and then I was like, well, I guess I need to do things differently. So if I was unsaved, I know I would have been like, boom, I'm done. Like real quick, I probably would have I know me. I mean, that would have been wrapped up and logged out a long time ago. But then I'm a Christian, and then I'm forgiveness and love and all of that, right? And I had to learn that as well. And these were things that I learned in time in prayer with God, to understand that when you forgive someone, and forgiveness does not mean you stay with the person all the time. You can forgive a person, but understand who they are, who you are, and realize you're not working. And so a lot of times people will overextend love and forgiveness without wisdom to know you can love someone, but if they're harming you and hurting you and causing chaos in your life, love does not mean you bring them in your house. You walk around and be forgiveness, but you're not going to let a murderer in your house. You're not going to allow a pedophile to work around children. You have to have wisdom, right? So that was lacking. So guys, over time, just seeing certain behaviors, and then now I'm getting out of character because I'm moving from talking nicely to talking not so nicely. I'm go from being calm to being not so calm. And what happens if you stay in a relationship and certain behaviors and certain things that people do, you are going to change in your nature. You're going to change. You're going to become a roach, just like them. And it's going to feel right. And you be in this toxic cycle and you think this toxicity is normal, and it's not. And so as we were getting closer and closer to our wedding date, and I'm trying on this wedding dress, and I just couldn't find the right one. And I didn't look right. Because I was not happy, because in the midst of all that, there was all this stuff going on, and I kept discovering more and more things. But nevertheless, he was really not deterred in getting married. But at some point, I just realized I can't do this. And one of the things that really stood out in my mind is this. If I'm going through all this right now, and I don't even I'm not his wife, am I willing to go through more stuff? And I wasn't. I wanted my peace back. I wanted my joy back. I wanted my freedom back. I wanted to just be by myself. I want to see you. I don't want to look at you. I was done. And I made the decision. And guys, we already had the venue. We already had our guest list. We had already sent out notification. I was working with a wedding planner. I had a engagement ring on my finger. Okay. And so it takes a lot of strength to be able to do that. But I was done. I chose me. I chose God. I chose my peace. And I had to realize the things that we went through, the things that I experienced, I had to take responsibility for allowing myself to go through it. Because a lot of times, guys, we are warned, and you see stuff and you'll discover stuff. And it's up to us whether we're going to take it at face value or allow ourselves to be talked out of it, either by that person or by ourselves, because we want this fantasy. We want the fantasy. We want to be married. How am I going to look? Oh, I don't want this person to get him or her. Oh, well, no, pay attention to what they do, because most people that end up being married to a person that takes them to the cleaners and does wrong and ruin their life and their careers, it was not a surprise. It was not a first time thing. There were things that they were doing before. And hopefully it doesn't take you to lose your life, lose yourself, lose your business, end up behind bars, having someone come into your door saying they're pregnant for your husband, or having some man coming up to you and shooting you because you have this wife that's telling him certain things that's not true, or ruining your career, making lies, doing all kinds of things, screwing up your whole life. Pay attention to the signs. And while it hurts and it's disappointing, it's really freedom. Allow yourself to experience the crying and the tears and the loss and maybe the ridicule and whatever may happen afterwards. Because things like that happen. We had friends in common that called and said, oh, he told me so-and-so, da-da-da-da-da. Well, what happened? You know what? By that time, I was already praying and seeking God. And all I said is, I said, you know what? I'm not going to get into that. But he knows, and God knows what he did. And that's how I left it. I did not get into details. I didn't get into the tit for tat. And that's a part of growth. Today, wish him the best. I don't know what he's doing. And to be honest, I'm not interested. I'm not saying that in a shady manner. I'm just not. But wish him the best. And all I could say, and as I said then, I apologize for my role, the things that I said, because after a while, I'm not going to lie. After a while, so many times repeating myself, I was definitely showing out. Okay. For sure. And that's how I knew it's time to leave. It's time to go. So guys, this is what you have to do. You have to make your decision and your choice. Are you going to still walk down the aisle? Are you still going to get on bended knee? Do not let the honeymoon periods fool you. You need to look at the person's character. You need to look at what they do. Their consistent inconsistencies. Watch the fruit. Watch how they treat your family. Watch how they treat people. Watch how they behave. Are they disciplined? Are they always saying that they're sorry about something? You got to look at that and realize this is not the one. And understand, love does not mean stupidity. Love without wisdom is going to take you down a path that is going to be exhausting emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually. And you don't want that. So, yes, I almost got married. But you know what? I don't regret it. Not at all. And having made that decision and going through the healing portion and process of it, I realized so much more about myself. I was able to face myself and face those errors in me that obviously was not, I guess there were errors that still need to be healed. I needed to question myself and say, why did I allow this? Why did I allow that? Why didn't I go at this point? Why did I do this? Why did I do that? Hey guys, there's a short disconnect here, but don't worry, you haven't missed anything. We're going to start right back up again. Thanks for listening. Wondering why he did this, why he did that, why he said that. No, I was asking myself questions because I'm the one that's responsible for me. I'm the one that's responsible for what I allow. And that's the way to heal, ladies and gentlemen, because if you sit there thinking about what they did and who did what, I'm not saying that you negate it. Yes, they did that. That stuff happened. All right. But we have to look at ourselves, because if we don't, you're going to carry baggage. You're going to go to the next relationship like, I went through this and I went through that, and comparing this person. No, you have to look at yourself, or you're going to keep getting the same type of person over and over again in your life because you're not learning your lessons. And so by the time someone who is actually genuine, whether it's a friend, whether it's a coworker, whether it is someone that is interested in you to date you, to marry you, you're going to be so embittered and filled with baggage and tatters and shrapnel that you're not going to be able to receive their love. And you're going to be treating them and expecting them to carry the cross of someone else who hurt you. So learn your lessons, be willing to cut your losses, and know that things will get better. Life goes on with time, with a drive to do better and to take responsibility and to be accountable for yourself. You're going to see how things will get better. And whether you're in another relationship or on your own, you're going to have so much peace. You're going to have so much wholeness. You're almost not even going to want to be with people because you're going to be like, you know what? I don't want this messed up. I'm good. Whatever it is, whether you are to be with someone down the line or not, don't be afraid to lose an individual or people. And take this message for anyone else. It doesn't have to be necessarily a boyfriend, girlfriend, fiance. It could be friendships. It could be family members. It could be just certain things that you're dealing with. I do have a playlist if you want to check it out. Go to my channel, hit playlist. You'll see topics. I have lots of things about toxic family, toxic friends, things of that nature. And but at the end of the day, guys, you have to choose yourself. I always say, you're going to choose somebody else, or you're going to choose you. You have to choose you first. You have to take care of you so you can be whole and better for anybody or any relationship that you may want to embark on, whether it's platonic or intimate. Does this video make sense to anyone? Thank you for watching. Peace.